Chapter 5 Advice from a Caterpillar. The caterpillar and Alice stared at each other without speaking. After a while, the caterpillar took the hookah pipe out of its mouth and spoke to Alice in a slow, sleepy voice. "Who are you?" said the caterpillar. This start of the talk was not good. Alice answered softly, "I don't understand, sir. Right now, I only know who I was when I woke up this morning. But I think I have changed a lot since then." "What does that mean?" asked the caterpillar sternly. "I don't see," said the caterpillar. "I can't explain it better," Alice said nicely. "I don't understand it myself first. And changing sizes every day is confusing." "It isn't," said the caterpillar. "Maybe you haven't experienced it yet," Alice said. "But someday, when you change into a cocoon and then into a butterfly, won't it seem a little strange to you?" "Not a bit," said the caterpillar. Alice said, "Maybe you have different feelings, but to me it would feel strange." "Who are you?" the caterpillar asked with disrespect. They returned to the start of the conversation. Alice was annoyed with the caterpillar's brief answers. She stood tall and said seriously, "You should tell me who you are first." "Why?" said the caterpillar. Another confusing question appeared, and Alice couldn't think of a good reason for it. The caterpillar seemed unhappy, so she left. "Come back!" the caterpillar shouted. "I have something important to tell you." This seemed good, definitely. Alice turned around and returned. "Keep your temper," said the caterpillar. "Is that it?" Alice asked, trying to control her anger. "No," said the caterpillar. Alice decided to wait because she had nothing else to do. Maybe the thing would tell her something important. For a few minutes, it smoked without saying anything. But finally, it put down the hookah and said, "Do you think you've changed?" "What can't you remember?" asked the caterpillar. "I tried to say, 'How doth the little busy bee,' but it didn't come out right," Alice said sadly. "Say, 'You are old, Father William,'" the caterpillar told him. Alice folded her hands, and began. "You are old, Father William," the young man said. "And your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think, at your age, it is right?" "In my youth," Father William replied to his son, "I feared it might injure the brain. But, now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, why, I do it again and again." "You are getting older," said the young person, "and have grown most uncommonly fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door. Pray, what is the reason of that?" "When I was young," said the wise person, while shaking their gray hair, "I kept all my limbs very supple. By the use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box. Allow me to sell you a couple?" The young person said, "You are getting old and your mouth can't open wide enough for anything tougher than suet. You ate all of the goose, including the bones and beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it?" His father said, "When I was young, I studied law and argued each case with my wife. The strong jaw I got from using it has lasted the rest of my life." The young person said, "You are getting old. That your eye was as steady as ever. Yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever?" "I answered 3 questions." "That's enough," said his father, "don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you downstairs." "That is not said right," said the caterpillar. "Wrong, I'm scared," Alice said shyly. Some of the words changed. The caterpillar said the whole thing is wrong, and then there was quiet for a while. The caterpillar was the first to speak. "What size do you want to be?" it asked. "I don't care about the size," Alice quickly said. "I just don't like changing it a lot." "I don't know," said the caterpillar. Alice didn't say anything. She had never been disagreed with so much before, and she felt she was getting angry. "Are you content now?" said the caterpillar. "I want to be bigger, please." "Being only 3 inches tall is not good," said Alice. The caterpillar spoke while standing up. It was upset and said, "It's a nice height. It was 3 inches tall. But I'm not familiar with it," Alice said sadly. She thought, "I wish the creatures weren't so easily upset." The caterpillar said you'll get used to it eventually, and then continued smoking from its hookah. Alice waited quietly until the caterpillar spoke again. The caterpillar then took a break from smoking its hookah, yawned, and moved away on the grass. It said, "Some mushrooms make you grow taller, others make you shorter. What one side? What other side?" Alice wondered to herself. The caterpillar said about the mushroom, like she asked it out loud. Then, it disappeared from view. Alice looked at the mushroom carefully for 1 minute. She wanted to know which side was the front and which was the back, but the mushroom was round, so it was hard. Finally, she put her arms around it as much as she could and broke a small piece from the edge with both hands. "Which is which now?" she asked herself, and took a small bite of the right piece to see what would happen. The next moment, she felt a strong hit under her chin. It hit her foot. She was scared by the sudden change, but she knew she had to act quickly because she was getting smaller. She quickly ate some of the other piece. Her chin was close to her foot, so it was hard to open her mouth, but she finally did and ate a piece of the left bit. "Come on, I'm free from my head," Alice said happily. But she was scared when she realized her shoulders were gone. When she looked down, all she saw was a long neck rising from a sea of green leaves far below her. "What are all these green things?" asked Alice. "Where did my shoulders go? I can't see my hands either. I'm moving them, but nothing is happening except the green leaves are shaking a little." She tried to move her hands to her head, but couldn't. So she tried to lower her head to her hands. She was happy to see that her neck could bend easily like a snake. She bent it in a zigzag shape, ready to go between the leaves. But then a big pigeon flew into her face and started hitting her with its wings. "Serpent!" screamed the pigeon. "I'm not a snake," said Alice in anger. "Leave me alone." The pigeon repeated, "Serpent, listen. I've tried every way and nothing works for them." The pigeon said this in a softer voice and sounded sad. "I don't understand what you're saying," said Alice. The pigeon said, "I tried hiding in tree roots, banks and hedges, but snakes are hard to please." Alice was getting more confused, but she decided to not say anything until the pigeon had finished talking. "It's hard enough to take care of the eggs," the pigeon said. "But I also have to watch for snakes all the time. I haven't slept for 3 weeks. I apologize that you are upset," Alice said, starting to understand. The pigeon continued speaking with a loud voice and said, "I climbed the tallest tree in the forest, thinking I was finally free from them. But then they came down from the sky like snakes." "Ah. But I'm not a snake," said Alice. I am a. "Hey. Who are you?" asked the pigeon. "I can tell you're trying to make something new." I am a small girl, Alice said, feeling unsure, because she remembered all the changes she had gone through that day. A believable story, the pigeon said with disrespect. I've met many girls, but never one with a neck like that. No way. You're a snake. Don't pretend otherwise. I bet you haven't even tried an egg. Alice said she has tried eggs before. She is a truthful child. Girls eat eggs just as much as snakes do. The pigeon said, I don't think it's true, but if it is, then they're like snakes. That's all I can say. Alice was very surprised by this new idea and didn't say anything for a few minutes. This allowed the pigeon to say, I know you are looking for eggs. It doesn't matter to me if you are a girl or a snake. It's important to me, Alice said quickly. But I'm not looking for eggs right now. And even if I was, I wouldn't want yours. I don't like eating raw eggs. The pigeon spoke angrily, saying, Go then. It went back to its nest. Alice tried to hide among the trees, but her neck kept getting stuck in the branches. She had to stop and unwrap it often. After a while, she realized she was still holding pieces of mushroom. She ate them carefully, sometimes growing taller and sometimes shorter, until she was back to her normal size. It had been a long time since she was the right size, so it felt weird at first. But she got used to it quickly and started talking to herself. Half my plan is done now. How strange all these changes are. I never know what I'll be from one minute to the next. But I'm back to the right size. Now I need to get into that beautiful garden. How will I do that? Suddenly she saw an open area with a small house that was 4 feet tall. I can't go near the house like this or I'll scare whoever lives there, Alice thought. So she started eating again to make herself smaller and didn't go near the house until she was 9 inches tall.